Okay, first of all, I am going to explain what the title is all about, but in a minute. Secondly, I want to let you all know that this week is punishment week for the 3 out of the 5 of us that have a punishment to do, and for the 2 of us, aka 40% of us, that do not have a punishment to do, who are like myself, we can talk about whatever we want. So, I'm going to go back to point number 1, the ist issues. As you have most likely heard, there are lots of people who are sexist or racist. And lots of people, a surprising lot of people, are actually sexist or racist, and nobody catches on it. First of all, I'll start with the sexist. I'll start off with the people I don't like the most. Who's the people who are like, oh, you're a guy, so you have to be into girls. You have to like girls. You have to want to sleep with girls. Just because you're a guy. Well, that's sexist. And also the people of the other side. And there are surprisingly, it seems like there are a lot fewer of them. It's like, oh, you're a girl, so you have to like guys. Although for some reason a lot of guys, and I've mentioned this before, but a lot of guys want guys to like girls, and they want girls to like girls or guys. For some reason, guys like to have competition, and they like it when there are fewer girls to be one. Weirdo. And then of course there's related issue of the guys who like girls are sexist, and the guys who like guys are sexist, but the guys who like guys and girls and everything in between, aka pansexual, technically they're not sexist, and that goes for girls as well. I don't know why I was saying guys. I was going to say guys and I was going to say girls, but people who are pansexual are not technically sexist in that way. People who are asexual are also not sexist. It's very strange. Very strange. Like, say if you're playing in a video game where it's like, say if there's a Call of Duty game where the people in multiplayer can choose their skin color. Say you shoot all the people who are white. It's like, oh, there's a black guy there. I shouldn't shoot him because that would be racist. That's actually racist because you are treating him differently because of that. That would probably actually work though, so that's very strange. So, anyway, now for the racist, continuing on with it. Mostly you see it in like the role-playing games. Games like, say, WoW for instance, which I have only played briefly. If you select certain races, you cannot be certain classes. Like, oh what, just because I'm an ogre I'm not allowed to learn magic? Because technically that is racist. Yes, it's a kind of racist that people have gotten used to and that people tend to ignore. It's still racist. In some games, though, yes, you can be an ogre and learn magic. You're not as good at it as like an elf, but you can still learn it. So that is still racist because it's treating them differently. But come on, if it didn't have that, it would be slightly less fun. You have to admit that. And so I believe that the future will be much more about the ist. No. So, like for instance, it's already started, but people have not been catching up on it. People are ageist. People treat young kids as not knowing anything at all. Like, oh, you're just a kid. You don't know anything. Blah, blah, blah. And people treat old people as being weak, as being also not knowing everything, which really, though, they know more than you do on average. But they treat people in like the 20s or 30s as, oh yes, those are the good people. Or like the adults treat, and this is going to a sensitive issue again, but it still needs to be said. Adult males, usually males, happens with females too, but it's more well known with the males. They tend to like little 18-year-old girls who's better than, say, a 60-year-old woman. On the most part, there are, of course, I want to say resistances, but yeah, there are contradictions to every rule out there, so. But yes, I believe in the future, you're going to have to treat absolutely everybody the exact same. So you're going to have to treat the big fat bully exactly the same as you treat your lover. Which what you would think people would think that is weird, but the thing is that they won't. And yes, there's lights behind me, but I'm not going to be turning them on. But because people are slowly inching their way towards this future without even realizing it. Because for some reason, it's a very bad thing to be sexist. It's a very bad thing to be racist. Like, oh, you're sexist? I can't believe you. When they themselves are actually most likely sexist. I would likely believe that 90 to 95% of people are ist in some way. And that's not really a bad. You would think that would be a bad thing. You would think I would say it's a bad thing, but you're just being ist at me. So, for being me, and yes, there are going to be ist issues all the time. There have been issues of the ist since the beginning of, since before people even, and there will be issues of the ist long after we're gone. It's like as it says in Zombie Coins, what. We don't want to be them because we are not them. And so for a closing note, I'd like to say that for all of you Americans out there, Obama or Romney, whichever one you vote for, technically you're still racist. DFTBA.